What's a family secret you didn't get told until you were older that made things finally make sense? Growing up, my father often told a story about how his brother had tricked a doctor into giving him disability. According to him, my uncle had just walked into an office, claimed he'd been abducted by aliens, and walked out with a disability check. It made me think getting on disability was easy. You just had to tell your doctor a wild enough story. Years later, everything changed when my father had a mental breakdown. He started talking about the government implanting a chip in his brain, pointing to things that weren't there, and insisting he had proof. He even got a CT scan to confirm the chip's existence. Conversations with him became impossible. Every discussion, even job interviews, turned into a rant about how the government was trying to fuck me in the ass. Eventually, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia and put on disability because he couldn't keep a job. It wasn't until adulthood that things finally clicked. One day, my aunt casually mentioned that mental illness ran in the family. That was when I realized my uncle hadn't been lying at all. He genuinely believed he had been abducted by aliens. He hadn't faked his way into disability. He had been struggling with schizophrenia just like my dad. It reframed everything I had believed growing up. My father's stories about his brother weren't about fraud. They were about a family history of mental illness no one wanted to talk about. My uncle had spoken his truth to a doctor, and in doing so, revealed a secret that, decades later, would explain my father's own unraveling mind.